Well. Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show, the ash cash show, ash cash show.
Baby, I got your money.
You're now tuned into the financial motivator himself, Ash Cash, Mr. Mind Right, Money Right. Money Right. Money Right.
All right, y'all. So welcome to the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday. I'm gonna say 9 a.m. ish, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. So I just full transparency. I'm in writing mode. I'm transitioning. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but I'm transitioning in a lot of spaces in my life. I got a challenge going on, planning an event, building a studio, writing a book, doing some mentorships, like accepting new people into my mentorship. So there's a lot going on at one time. And so it's throwing my sleep off. And so I literally, I gotta change that to Mr. Abundance is your birthright. Facts. But yeah, I know. So I got fed. So I literally got a lot going on at one time. You know what I'm saying? That's my appreciate you. That's my I was eating peanuts. Appreciate you. So I really got like a lot going on at one time, right? And so because I got a lot going on, it's throwing my sleep off. Like I literally woke up like 3 a.m. to finish my book. Like I'm writing a book, right? And then like I got a good groove because the thing, if you're a writer, you got to understand that your writing comes in at a groove, right? Like it comes in at a groove. So I was like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna get this groove on. Matter of fact, a lot of people talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and Chat GPT and all these different apps, right? And so I was like, yo, I said, you know what? I'm gonna use Nova. What up? I'm gonna use, I'm gonna use Chat GPT to write this book, right? And it didn't work, right? I'm gonna tell you why it didn't work, right? Because, and this is why I feel like AI is a good tool, but it has limits, right? And this is why I say your limits are a lie. Because matter of fact, let me see what I typed, and let me tell you, right? And let me tell you why I feel like they always looking at the masses, right? So I said, so this is what I said. So my book, right? My book is called Abundance is Your Birthright, right? And it is the 9 spiritual truths, right? It is the 9 spiritual truths that let me see if I can find what it told me. So here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Your limits are a lie, right? So where is it? I thought I had it on here. All right, so my book, Terrell, what up? My book is called Abundance is Your Birthright, right? Abundance is Your Birthright. The 9 true spiritual beliefs that will make you a millionaire, right? And the 9 false beliefs that have kept you broke, right? And so that's the title of the book. And the premise of the book, and this is what I wanted to do from the book, is I wanted to teach people. So originally, let me tell y'all originally, and God knows what God's doing, right? So originally, I was gonna call the book Faith Made Millionaire, right? I was gonna call the book Faith Made Millionaire, right? And throughout my career, and you're right, throughout my career, I have accumulated high six figures in 1 year, right? And if you accumulate that through all of the years that I've worked, that I've been an entrepreneur, prior to last year, I had amassed millions of dollars, right? I've generated millions of dollars, right? But I've never, right, in full transparency, until last year, I never generated $1 million, more than $1 million in 1 year, right? Prior to 2022, could be in 2023. Yeah, so prior to 2022, like I said, I've always, like, I started hitting six figures early, right? So I was making six figures in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like crossing that $1 million mark, even as an entrepreneur, I never got there. I had like high six figures, and think about it, six figures could go from 100,000 to 999,000. So just so y'all clear, 900,000 is still six figures. Like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a seven figure. Anybody who's like, yo, I make $800,000, you're not really, technically, you're not a seven figure entrepreneur yet. You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't generated more than $1 million, right? So, you know, again, throughout my career, you know, I've generated money, but again, right? So now last year, that was my goal, right? I was like, yo, there's no way I'm watching everybody, like everybody I know, everybody in my circle and all that. I'm like, yo, there's no way I'm seeing everybody hit seven figures and they crushing it though. I'm like, you know, one guy in my circle, I think did like 30 million. You know what I'm saying? Another guy did 10 million. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm like, man, these guys are killing it. You know what I'm saying? Another guy did 6 million. So I'm like, yo, these dudes is out here killing it. Like, I'm looking, I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, you guys kill it. So I said, yo, so in the beginning of the year, I said, this is my 7-figure year. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, that's my 7-figure year. And so in the first month of 2022, I made like $140,000. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, that's dope. Like that, like this is, if I keep that trend, right? If I keep that trend, I'm gonna end the year with at least 1.4. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, at least 1.4 I hit, you know what I'm saying? If I keep that trend, right? So long story short, you know, I'm not gonna go through the whole, like my whole income thing or whatever, but long story short, last year, and this isn't like money that I got in my pocket. So all you pocket watchers out there, this ain't money that I got in all of my pocket. But last year, you know, I was able to generate $10 million, right? Crazy, right? Crazy. And that's like, but that's cash money though. Let me just say that. It ain't money that I got all in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? But it is like money. You know what I'm saying? It's like real money. It's not like exaggerated money. It's not like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? I had the potential. No, this is like real money, right? And so now I went from trying to hit just the one, right? And then was able to, right, generate 10, right? So I go to this chat, you know what I mean? This chat box, right? I go to this chat and I say, yo, right? I asked it because I'm saying, so the reason why in January, I said that my goal, right? I said my goal was to generate $1 million in 1 year, because I don't like to teach stuff that I've never done. Even if I know somebody did it before. I don't like to teach stuff that I haven't done, right? So I said, yo, I want to teach people how to become millionaires in like real time, like real 1 year, like and trust me, there's nothing wrong with being an accumulated millionaire, right? Like if you made 6 figures for the last 10 years and you was able to invest 6 figures and your net worth is $1 million and you didn't do it all in one shot, like you're a millionaire. Nobody looks at it and be like, oh man, it took you this long. I mean, you can look at it that way, but you know what I mean? You're a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? But my goal was like, yo, I wonder if I could teach people how to like become a millionaire, right? Mindset first, right? And so I said to myself, I said, yo, I know that I can help people generate $1 million in 1 year. So I want to, like, no matter what assets I had prior to 2022, I was like, yo, I want to focus, right? I want to focus only on what I bring in 2022, right? And could I reach that $1 million mark? So that's why I was going so hard, right? Like I said, first month was like 140, and they, you know, just kept going up. June was ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? June, again, I'm not gonna go through all of the ins and outs of the income, but right. I then said, right, like there's books out, right? There's books that says, yo, you can make $1 million in a year, right? So I said, yo, let me so originally the book was going to be called Faith Made Millionaire. You know what I'm saying? The book was going to be called Faith Made Millionaire. And fast out to my brother Jason, you know, fast out to the whole team at Frame 88. But one day I was shooting inside the vault, and this is why, look, God say don't steal, right? What's for you is for you. You don't got to look at nobody's stuff. You ain't got to borrow it. You ain't got to do none of that, right? So peep this. My brother Jason, one day we were shooting inside the vault, and my brother Sarah, what up? My brother Jason, one time we were shooting inside the vault. My brother Jason brings in, he has a shirt on, and the shirt says, right? The shirt says Faith Made Millionaire. And the moment I saw it, I said, oh, that's dope. I said, yo, that's dope. Faith Made Millionaire, right? Because in 2019, right? 2019, after my mother passed, I started to renew my faith, right? I started to renew my faith in God, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, I want to say 2020, right? I resubmitted to God. I was like really focused on, you know, all spiritual scriptures. You know, I got tapped in with my culture, went to Haiti for the first time to read about my history. You know, I started tapping into the Quran more. I started tapping into the Bible more. I even started reading like the Torah, like all of the spiritual scriptures. I started studying the law of attraction. Like I really went crazy. Like I really was like in my books, like crazy, right? And so I already knew like where I was at the time, and you know, with my mother being my angel now, right? With my mother being my angel now, with my mother, you know, being the person that, you know, she where she, her energy is where it is, and you know, because energy doesn't die, and it just transfers, you know what I'm saying? So whatever form her energy you know transferred from, I was like, man, it's blessing time, you know what I'm saying? It's blessing time. And so when I saw Jason with the shirt Faith Made Millionaire, right? I was like, yo, I don't know, I'm gonna tell you instinctively, right? My lack mentality mind, right? My lack mentality mind told me, yo, check to see if if somebody trademarked it yet. And even though the guy who did the shirt, right? The guy who had the shirt, he was like, yo, I got this from a guy. He was like, yo, you want me to send you the guy's information? And so I was like, cool, go ahead, send it to me. You know what I'm saying? So he sends me the guy's information. And I noticed, like, you know, the guy doesn't necessarily have a big operation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's just selling the shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's selling it to friends and family. it's not like widespread. So I'm just being transparent. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to act like I'm holier than thou. So my lack mentality though, right? My lack mentality, my competitive mentality said I already had, and here's the deal. I already had abundance is your birthright. I already had this in the works, right? Because I've been trying to trademark abundance is your birthright since 2020. Truth be told, it took a while, right? So I've been trying to trademark this since 2020, but I guess a lot of people were trying to trademark it. You know what I'm saying? So I had already had abundance is your birthright, but I just felt, I'm a book guy. You know what I'm saying? So from a marketing standpoint, I felt like a book titled, right? A book titled Faith Made Millionaire would be a dope book. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a dope name. You know what I'm saying? So I sort of do, so I looked, I seen, I'm like, oh, dude not really doing nothing with it. He wasted, look, my ego edging God out. My ego was like, yo, dude ain't really doing nothing with the name. So I'm about to snatch that up. And so, you know what I mean? You made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. That was my mindset. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, I'm taking that. So I first, I do my due diligence. I look it up. And nobody got a trademark. Faith Made Millionaire was not trademarked. So I said, oh, bet. I said, yo, that's the one right here. So I'm going to write this book called Faith Made Millionaire. But again, I don't like to write, you know what I'm saying? And the book is going to teach you how to make $1 million in 12 months. Well, I hadn't made $1 million in 12 months yet. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't made $1 million in 12 months yet. I had done it cumulatively, right? I had done it cumulatively, but I had not done it in 1 year. So I said, I can't teach the book until I do it. You know what I'm saying? And so I said, I'm going to wait, right? I'm going to go hard, and I'm going to wait until I'm able to really write the book to now do it. Long story short, and y'all can look it up. Long story short, but just for the sake of not even transparency, but just for the sake of letting y'all know, right? Somebody wrote a book called Faith Made Millionaire, right? And look, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a guy named Matt Sapuala, and guess when he wrote the book? This book came out August 8th, 2022. You dig what I'm saying? I saw it in 2021, right? Oh no, I saw it in 2022, right? In the beginning of 2022, had the idea, but was like, yo, I'm not gonna write it yet because I hadn't reached it to the spot. Nobody had the book name. No, like the only thing was a guy that had the shirt. And I said, yo, I'm a cop it or whatever. Somebody else, and you take from whatever whatever you want from that lesson, right? Because I'm not gonna run the silver line and say, well, I'm not gonna run the silver line and say, well, I should have stolen it earlier when I had the opportunity. Because I in my heart of hearts, I feel like that wasn't mine to take. You know what I'm saying? Because my intention wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you could say that, but my intention wasn't good, right? Delayed obedience is disobedience, but I'm not gonna say that in this particular case because my intention wasn't good, right? I saw it through somebody else, and instead I could have reached out to the guy and asked a partner and teach him how to trademark his thing, ask for, you know what I'm trying to say? So I was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't even going to say that. But somebody else did it, right? Somebody else got the book, or they put out the book or whatever. And it's doing pretty well, right? It's doing pretty well. But he dropped it in August, right? August, right? And so now I'm like, damn. I'm like, what am I going to do? So that's when I switched the book title to Abundance is Your Birthright. right? And so now, with me just getting a trademark for abundance is your birthright, I said, oh, that actually works. You know what I'm saying? Actually works out really well. And so now I got Abundance is Your Birthright. I got the book Abundance is Your Birthright coming out. And then it's really teaching people how, you know what I'm saying? Like the 9 spiritual. So the truth is also that I believe that I was able to generate over $10 million last year because of, I put God first in everything that I'm talking about. Right? I'm talking about I put God first in everything. Like God, I put God first. Like I put God first in everything, in my business, in my marriage, in my parenting, in my community service. Like I put God first at a high level, as it should be. But I'm emphasizing that because, you know, I hadn't. You know what I'm saying? Like I dibbled and dabbled in God prior to. You know what I'm saying? But this time around, like you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I put God first in everything. I'm talking about everything. And I put God first so much that I knew that generating $10 million is what made that. And so I said, yo, I want to write a book because I hate, you know, as somebody who's generated that much money. And like I said to y'all the other day, you know what I'm saying? All praises due to the Most High God. As I said to y'all the other day, we've also, you know, we also circulate a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even in making that much money, you know, we threw an event that cost $3.5 million, right? We, you know, like we hired people that was like our payroll was almost at $2 million. You know what I'm saying? So like I already know from experience that the more money you make, the more you can help. Right? Like the more money you can make, imagine through making that much money, some people on my team got paid 6 figures that they never got paid 6 figures before in their life. You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of people saw a certain amount of money that they never saw before in their life. Right? And so my conclusion was, because I was obedient to God, because I know that abundance is my birthright, and I allowed abundance in all aspects, I did not limit myself. Right? I could have limited myself to only generating $1 million. Right? But you don't got to limit yourself. Your limit is a lie. Right? Your limit is a lie. Right? Because you don't have to limit yourself to 1 million. You could make 10 million. You can make 20 million. You ain't got to use my story. You can make 100 million. Who is giving you this limit? Right? Who has limited you? Right? Who has limited you? Who has told you that you have to go in a certain amount of way? Right? So what did I do? I say, yo, again, I'm gonna write this book. Abundance is Your Birthright. The 9 spiritual truths, right? The 9 spiritual truths that'll make you a millionaire, right? And so now I say, yo, D-Hop, what up? Peace and blessings, Sister Linda. Legacies, what up? Right? I say, yo, I'm gonna write a book on how to make $1 million in 1 year, 12 months, right? But no limits. I'm gonna tell you, right? I'm gonna tell you how I put God first in everything to generate $10 million in 1 year, right? I'm gonna teach you that. And I'm gonna put it in a book, right? Because again, I don't like to teach something that I haven't done. So I said, I bet now I could do the Faith Made Millionaire thing, but I said I can't do that no more. So I'm gonna do Abundance is Your Birthright, and I'm gonna give you the spiritual truth. So here's where I'm going with it. I go to Chat GPT because that's what everybody talk about, right? I go to Chat GPT and I start to ask it. I said, look, I said, yo, can you give me a 12-month plan to become a millionaire? So mind you, right? And this is, y'all know I'm not flexing or nothing, but mind you, there was one day that we generated millions of dollars, right? I'm talking about one day. In one day, not in a month, not in months. I'm talking about one day. We had generated $7 million, right? In one day, we had generated $7 million, right? And so I said, you know, I just want to plan to do it in 12 months, right? And ChatGPT was like, well, you know, a 12-month plan to become a millionaire is an ambitious goal, and it can be challenging to achieve in such a short period of time. You know, however, with the right plan and a lot of hard work, is possible. So I'm not saying, right? I'm not saying that none of that is true, right? I'm not saying that none of that is true, but I am saying that there's already bias in that, right? There's already bias in that. Like, in the way it even, before you even gave me the plan, like, I don't even like your bias, right? Like, I don't even like your bias. I don't even like your tone. Like, what are you talking about? If I know people, exclude myself, if I know people who have made $1 million in a day, and I'm talking about, I'm in a mastermind, and there's a lot. Like, I posted a video on my Instagram the other day, and it's a award ceremony. You know what I'm saying? And I posted this video of this award ceremony, and we're all there's a lot of us holding shields. So just so you know, is that everybody that held a shield has generated more than $1 million in a day. So how you have this limit, right? How you have this limit? How your tone is limiting me? So I already know that even the AI is being inputted with a limit. The limit is a lie, right? So not only are the humans, like, not only are humans, right? Not only are humans limiting you, now the very technology that everybody's, you know, falling back on, right? The very technology that everybody's falling back on is now trying to implant these limiting beliefs in you. And so listen, y'all, I need us to get to this space. I need us to get to the space where we start to remind ourselves that our limits are a lie, right? Our limits are a lie. Our limits have been lying to us. Our limits are now being transformed in artificial intelligence. If you let, right, if you let the world, if you let computers, if you let all of these different things tell you that you can't do something, that you have accepted a lie. Your limits are a lie, right? What did Dr. Miles Monroe said? Dr. Miles Monroe said, if a car, right? Think about this. If a car could go 120 miles per hour, right? If a car could go 120 miles per hour, but whoever's driving that car never pushed it past 120 miles per hour, can the car go 120 miles per hour? Yes. Just because you never pushed it that fast don't mean that it can't go that fast, right? The creator, catch this, the creator of the car, the manufacturer of the car, right? The manufacturer of the car designed the car to go 120 miles per hour. You get in the car, right? You get in the car, and because you scared, right? You nervous. You don't want to push it. You don't want to push it to its highest potential. You get in the car, and instead of pushing it to its highest potential, You comfortable at 40. Yo, you comfortable at 40. You sitting in a car that could go 120. You sitting in a car that could go 120, and you comfortable at 40. You like, oh, I'm going 40 miles an hour. And you comfortable. You loving 40. You like, yes. Yes. 40 miles per hour. Then peep this. Peep this. While you driving at 40 miles per hour, you look to your left. Yo, there's somebody in the HOV lane going 80. There's somebody in the HOV lane going 80 miles per hour. And now you're impressed. You could go 120. You comfortable at 40. You see somebody else going 80. And now you're impressed. You're impressed at somebody going 80 miles per hour. You're impressed so much so that two things happen. You jump to the HOV lane and try to push it to beat their 80, right? You jump to the HOV lane and you follow them now. You like, sheesh, if that person could go 80, I could go 80. And so now you're in the HOV lane following, right? Following this car that you're impressed with that's going 80, trying to catch up to them. But guess what? If you catch up to them, you behind them now. So you really can't even push your 120. Or, right? So instead of finding your own lane and pushing it, you jump in the HOV lane and try to push it. Or you become envious of that person pushing 80 because you believe that you could only go 40. And you like, I'm good at 40. Yo, God bless them. Man, God, oh, that person's special. Oh, that person got a better car. Oh, you start making excuses as to why you going 40. Don't miss this analogy, y'all. Don't miss it. You start making excuses as to why they are able to go 80 and you only going 40. When all along, right? When all along, God made you though, right? God made you to go 120. You could go 120. You could go 120. You the one that's comfortable at 40. You making all these excuses. You making all these excuses as to why you only pushing at 40 miles an hour when you could go 120. You don't even got to be impressed by the 80 miles an hour because you could go past 80. And they could go 122. And so a lot of us have, we've accepted the limitations that not only that the world put on us, we've accepted the limitations that we put on us. We lying to ourselves, though. We have now gotten to a space where we are lying to ourselves, and we're saying that's truth. And so, my message for today. See, Jack, salute, appreciate the bad stuff. My message for today: you have to push past your comfort zone. Wherever you are, wherever you feel most comfortable, you are lying to yourself. It is a lie. You can be, do, and have more.
If you want to do something extraordinary with your life, stop asking yourself what the least you need to do is, and start asking yourself what's the most you can bear. Humans are capable of truly unbelievable things, but the reality is the way that we get better is by going through a simple process of adaptation. But what triggers the adaptation is stressors. It's doing things that are difficult. It's pushing yourself into a state of adapt or die. The body wants to conserve energy. So unless you put yourself in a state where the body absolutely feels like to survive, it must adapt, you're never going to change. And that's why only the most elite people end up achieving at the highest level, because they take the time to shape themselves. They put the energy into getting better. They're willing to suffer. They're willing to push through and persevere. But until you're willing to do that, until you're willing to stop asking yourself what you can get away with and start asking yourself, how far can I go? Just how much am I capable of?
Tony.
And when your fascination becomes that, when you start wondering just how much am I capable of, and every level that you achieve excites you to push harder and go farther and do more and bear more weight, then all of a sudden you really can begin to surpass other people. But it takes that. It takes a total shift of your mindset. You've got to be obsessed with just how far you can go. You have to be obsessed with finding your breaking point and then pushing beyond that. That is how you really begin to take advantage of the adaptation process. That's how you begin to improve. That's how you begin to build your body and build your mind, is to push beyond your comfort zone. That is how you get great. At the end of the day, nobody sat their way to greatness. Nobody sat back and relaxed and became extraordinary. The only people who really achieve, the only way that humans are able to do the extraordinary things that we're able to do, is by going to that breaking point and then beyond. But you have to find something in there that you want that badly. There's no way to just do it. You've got to find something in you that you believe in so much that you're willing to push yourself that hard. So you've got to construct a story about not only who you are, but what you can become. And when that narrative is so compelling that it pushes you forward, then you will have the kind of change that you want in your life. But first, you have to believe that you can do it. You've got to put yourself out there. You've got to grind and work. But to do that, to work that hard, to make those kinds of changes, you've got to be willing to test yourself.
Test yourself. Push yourself past the limit, y'all.
Yourself and find out who you really are. You've got to be willing to stare nakedly at your inadequacies and be willing to push through them. You can't pretend. You've got to really look at your results and see if you're making the progress that you want to make. And that's where a lot of people fail. They lie to themselves. They want to get away with something. They want to see if anybody's looking. But the reality is, the only thing that matters in this life, what do you think about yourself when you're by yourself? There's no campaign. There's no convincing anybody. There's only the credibility that you've either earned with yourself or not. And the hard truth is that self-worth comes from doing something worthy. It comes from the hard things. It comes from the suffering. It comes from persevering when things get difficult, to know what you want and to stay that course even when everything else is trying to knock you off. So build that thing in your life, build that belief, know that you can do it, and be willing to go through hell to get to the other side, to get to the person that you were always meant to be. It won't be easy, but it sure as hell is possible.
It's possible, y'all.
We all need a word of encouragement from time to time. So I want this to be that word. So let me tell you what I know. You can change. No matter what you think of yourself, humans are designed to change. That's what we do. But you have to put yourself underneath tremendous stress in order to trigger that adaptation response. But if you know what direction you want to move in, if you know what you want to become, you can change into that. And so holding on to the fears and the doubts and the worries, they're not serving you, and looping around that mentally and wondering if you're going to make it, and practicing mentally how you would deal with the failure, how you would justify it to people. All of that is stopping you from doing the one thing that actually will work. Trying, practicing, training, falling down. Those are the very things you need to do. The very simple act of taking action. That's the thing that you have to focus on. If you do that, then you'll be able to trigger your ability to change. So I don't need you to believe that you're capable of something extraordinary now. And I know in your heart you have that dream. You have that small flicker of a belief that you can do it. That if you just try, that you could figure it out. And that's what I want you to focus on. You could figure it out, not that you already know how to do it. I fully accept that you don't. I fully accept that most of the things that I want to do with my life and will go on to do, I'm not yet capable of. But I so believe in the human ability to change, not even something that's unique to myself, just the human ability to change. That if I simply walk that path of doing, of trying, of failing and learning, that on a long enough timeline, I will win. So whatever it is that you're thinking about doing right now, I want to be that voice in your head that says you can do it.
You can do it, y'all.
Maybe not today. You can do it. You can become capable of that thing that you want, that you so dream about, that would give you that sense of self-pride that you want, that you hunger for. And I will say this, be proud, even if you never reach it, as long as you try. So go out right now, stop this, stop listening to this, stop whatever you're doing and get out there and try. Do it and remember that it is a process of adaptation. And to go through that process, you must get under stress. It's the only way that you'll grow. But you can do it. You can grow. You can become whatever you want. No one will ever hate you with the intensity that you can hate yourself. And that's why you absolutely must take the time to build your self-worth.
Build your
And I
self-worth,
really wish
y'all.
that building your self-worth was simply as easy as repeating to yourself that you love yourself. But it's not. The reality is, if you want to love yourself, you have to do something that is worthy of that love.
Uh-oh.
You have to do something that you believe in. You have to find a way to build credibility with yourself.
Build
To tell
credibility with
yourself you're going
yourself,
to do
y'all.
something and know that you're actually going to see it through. The reality is we're all watching ourselves all the time. We know how we behave. And so you really have to think about that. I want it to be enough. I want it to be enough that you exist and that you're going to be okay simply because you are. The reality is we don't look at life like that, and we do judge ourselves, and we do think about whether or not we're following through on the things that we said we were going to do. And it's okay to start small. It's okay not to have a grand dream. It's okay not to be able to do that yet. It is very okay not to be extraordinary. You don't need that to love yourself. But what you do need is purpose. What you do need is to take that time to define what is it that you're trying to do with your life? Why do you matter? What is it that you're going to be able to bring to yourself and to the world that doesn't have to be big? It just has to be real. It has to be something that's true to you. It has to be something that you're willing to commit to. And once you're willing to commit to it, to put in the energy every day to get up and pursue that thing. And again, this is not me. I'm not judging you. I can really tell you, I love you, and it's enough that you just exist. But I know that in your head, in all of our heads, is a voice that says that just isn't true. And so to connect with ourselves and to find that meaning and to develop it, to create meaning in our lives, we have to set an intention.
Set your
And you have to
intentions,
pursue
y'all.
that intention. Start small. Know what you want. Get out of bed. Get after it. Set rules for yourself. Follow those rules. Once you start doing those simple things, and again, they don't have to be big, but once you start setting a rule, having an intention, following your rules, building towards that intention, suddenly you're going to earn that credibility with yourself. And then all of a sudden, no matter what anybody says to you, and they are going to say negative things, haters are going to come after you, that is just a reality of life, but you will be impervious to that if you have built within you belief that you are worthy.
You are worthy.
Because you take small steps every day to do something that means something to you. Doesn't matter what other people think, but it matters a lot what you think about yourself. So every day, earn that worth.
Earn that worth, y'all.
Hey, what's the man right now? You're tuned
With yourself,
into
though.
Mind Right
Look.
Radio. Elevate your mind.
Elevate your mind.
Elevate your life.
Yo, earn that worth with yourself, though. I'm not saying to impress nobody else. I need you to push your limits, right? I need you to tap in to who God made you and just go, right, as far as you are. I'm not going to say comfortable going, right? I'm not gonna say go as far as comfortable you're going because you could go further, but push yourself, right? Push yourself. Live in abundance, right? Live in abundance. Y'all can go to Mind Right Radio, the app on iTunes, or not iTunes, the iOS app, or you could join the Abundance Community, right? AbundanceCommunity.org. Mind Right Radio is part of that. All right, y'all. Gotta save my voice. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tapping in the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 9-ish a.m. to 10-ish a.m. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Make sure y'all go to the AshCashShow.com, subscribe to the podcast. Go to AshCashTV.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow in God's will. Same time, same place. Peace.
I ain't talking about rich. I'm talking about wealth.
Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show.
Baby, I got your money.
You are now tuned in to the Ash Cash Show, your number one source for financial motivation. Get your mind and your money right.